out.
So when the first person came on and they were like, do I have permission to record? And Tyra was like,
yes,
yes, we give you permission.
To record.
She's calling the shots. I'm like,
I know, I just thought it was
she thought that you were asking us if we need
thought it was that
permission, not the
legal thing
technical, actual.
Oh no, yeah.
Like you have to get permission to. It's a
yes, because journalists, they to record, you legally have to ask to record.
Just to let you know, I'm recording this is what they
Yes, and
they
get permission. Yeah,
just so you know.
At least you're like, oh, they're so respectable, asking if they're allowed to record the conversation.
That was a new law.
That is so sweet of you guys. Yes, we're gonna have fun with that for a while.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do it in the middle of a show. I mean, like, Tyra, do I have permission to record?
My joke. People will be like,
oh, listen. By the way, I have so many inside jokes that I'm going to be rolling with all season long.
Oh my god.
People are gonna be like, what does that mean? Like the one that I know that I'm going to do is, and I'll tell everybody what this is now, but like, I'm going to say with Mark Ballas, and then I went left, right? And people are going to be like, what are you talking about? The first day, the GMA premiere where we announced who we were, they had a problem getting to GMA. So we kept driving. And it was like, we drove around the block like 6 times. And so we were just on the bus and I was like, then we went left. Then we went left. And so every time, it don't mean anything. It's stupid. It's stupid.
But to you, it means something.
But to me and Mark, it's going to be all me like, dude, welcome back. We went left.
like crickets. It's going to be literally crickets. And then you turn.
He's going to laugh and nobody else is going to understand. Yeah. He's going to be like, I can't believe you said that on TV. And you'll know, or anybody who sees this interview, that it'll be me from the story. Then we went left.
We'll post it on TikTok so it blows up and then everyone will know.
Exactly.
There you go.
And hashtag it and
Hashtag, then we went left.
I love it. So you two went to school together way back in the day.
Yes.
Tyra, your first acting gig was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if in that moment someone had told you that, you're going to host Dancing with the Stars like in a couple years from now, would you?
Couple decades.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. I know
Say
you were being sweet. You were being very sweet.
Very sweet.
Very
sweet. Take it to like when I was in elementary school, it'd be like
couple decades later, we'd be here together again. I mean, what would you say if they'd have said that to you?
I would have been like, "What's Dancing with the Stars?" Because
it didn't exist back then. That's right. That's true.
When it did, I remember you actually directed me with Zendaya.
Yes, I did.
What was that show called?
Yeah, it was Shake It Up.
Shake It Up. Shake It Up.
Shake It Up.
Do it up.
Yeah, Shake It Up.
Shake it down.
Shake It Up with
Shake
Zendaya.
Shake It Up.
Yep. I was directing Zendaya. Yes,
and really good director. I don't mean to like change the subject, but no, he is good. This was like comedy. It's a kid's show, but he gets all deep. Like Tyra, I feel like your motivation is. Yeah, I mean, it was like some serious directing. And remember, I was like,
sometimes you do what you do.
I was an awkward librarian or something, and then like had a makeover.
Right. Yeah, it was fun.
Really good director.
Thank you.
Why don't you direct dancing?
Oh no, that's different. No, you cannot. You cannot. It's very different style.
Can be the first.
I could be, but I don't want to be because that's a different job. That's a hard job. Like you have to be in the booth to direct. Yeah. Live, you got to be in the booth.
Whatever.
Sitcoms is like, you stand on the stage, you tell people what to do, and you sit back and watch.
Oh, whatever.
A little different.
I can imagine you directing and hosting, and you have the like screens on the side, and you're like, cut to camera 2. What's up, Tyra? Cut to camera 4. Hey, y'all.
I will say this.
How you doing, Derek? Cut to camera 5.
I actually had to connect to our director when I hosted the show. While the show was ending, one of the contestants, who will remain nameless, grabbed my mic, right? He's getting sent home. He goes and he grabs my mic and he now takes the mic and starts to talk.
Oh.
And they're in my ear going, 30 seconds, right? And I'm like, okay, dude won't stop talking. I got to get us out to end the show.
What'd you do?
And I looked into the camera and I know I looked into the camera and I know I was looking directly into our director's eyes. And I was like, follow me. Right? And I went that way away from Gary. The camera went with me and then they could pull his mic down and then I got us out of the show. So I was directing on the floor with the director because I was like, if I don't move away from this dude crazy. He's not going to stop talking. I got to get us out.
Which means that he can direct and host the show. So we gonna
At
see
the same time.
maybe like episode 3 or 4. We'll see.
I'll be like,
Yep.
cut number 2.
So
to
way
camera
back then in school, you just knew that you're eventually going to direct and everything together. Moral of that answer.
All right, good. Close up, Tyra. Good close up,
And
Tyra.
Our audience, I have to ask, because they're a huge fan of obviously the entire cast, but we're young Hollywood, so everyone's obsessed with Charli and Heidi D'Amelio. So how do you like the mother-daughter dynamic, and are they competitive behind the scenes so far?
I love it. I think it is special. I think it is interesting. I think it is unique. I think it is actually healthy. And I think they're going to have a lot of fun. We'll see like if there's like attention or if not attention, some tension, or if there's just going to be like all of, I don't know. What do you think?
I think they're going to have fun with it, right? I think that, you know, when you see them on their show, they're very, you know, they're a great family. There's a lot of love in that house. So I think there's going to be love, you know, just constantly rolling through that house. I think people are going to see that Charli is incredibly competitive. I know Heidi is too, because she was a competitive dancer when she was younger. But I think Charli is definitely going to be one that's going to, you know, to me, if I had to put a front runner, I got to give it to her right now because she is a dancer. But once again, I'd say this all the time. But Wayne's my dog. You know what I mean? He's my dog, and he was Whitney, right? But in terms of like the physical dance,
Charli,
right? Charli's going to probably be the best physical dance every week in the beginning. But it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. And it's also about the journey. It's also about, does she learn and does she grow? If she stays the same throughout, and does she share? Does she open up and give America, let everybody fall in love with her? Not because she's used to giving everybody her love in 30-second clips that have been rehearsed and done 30 times until they found one that they liked. This is different. This is live television. This is here we go, show up and deliver. Can she deliver the emotion, the story, the desires? Can we learn about who Charli D'Amelio is during this journey? That's going to be what will get her across the finish line.
Yeah. And long form versus short form, it's a completely different ballgame.
Completely different world.
Thank you guys so much for the best. You're amazing.
Thank you. Have a
See you
great
later.
day.